Okie dokie, let's talk about these blood stains real quick. Now, this is based off of my research currently that I have done and also taking a CSI forensics class when I was in high school that counted for my college credits. I don't have very much experience, but it's a little bit more than what a lot of people are starting out with. Okay, so here's what I've determined with these specific blood drops that we found on the stairwell on the opposite side of the banister. Based on the way that they are positioned, meaning they are small droplets with light vertical directionality. Here's how it would realistically, plausibly show up. If the person was on the other side of the banister in the hallway, coming from Zaina's room going towards Dylan's room or vice versa, then it is not consistent with a passive dripping straight down, as if somebody was standing still near the wall. What it is consistent with appears to be projected blood crossing the hallway. Most likely reason for this, I would say cast off from movement. Meaning a person with blood on their hand, their arm, their hair, or an object moves suddenly. The motion flings droplets outward, and the droplets travel horizontally across the space and land on the opposite wall. An example of this would be turning quickly, walking while swinging arms very heavily, gesturing to somebody, pulling back an arm, tossing or dropping something that is bloodied already. The droplets are separate. They are not pooled. They're small, indicating velocity. They're on the opposite wall, meaning it's a lateral travel. And they are light on their downward trail, meaning gravity is acting after airborne travel. This would also imply that it's fresh blood instead of coagulated blood. Otherwise, it would have kind of just stuck there, as we've seen in other pictures. The other option could be that the blood was transferred with a gravity drag, but a little bit weaker. And that would involve somebody that was bloody touching the wall, but these don't look like fingerprints or hair prints. And then the blood slowly dragging downward. So I don't think that this is the case. I truly don't. It just doesn't, the rest of the wall isn't messed enough to really imply that that would be the case. These are very discrete droplets, and they're not wipes or smears like we've seen on some of the bed rails. Another option that's a very far-fetched one, but it's still plausible, would be somebody that's coughing, spitting up blood. It's very possible, but it's very context dependent. This would mean that the person was actually expelling blood from their mouth or facing across the hallway when they did it. So like standing at the banister and coughing with blood coming out of their mouth. It's kind of less likely considering the placement of it. And I don't recall reading anything about them finding any saliva with the blood droplets. I'm not sure if that's something that they would have tested for, but I'm assuming they would have, I would think. So don't quote me on that last one. But the directionality matters. Because they are vertical streaks, it does not mean that the blood came from above. What it means is that the blood droplet hit the wall and then gravity pulled it down. The original point of exit would still be across the hallway and not above the wall. So it would have had to have been literally going grazing over the wall when it hit that, or it would be when you're walking down the stairwell or at the top of the stairwell. Again, I'm not a professional. These are my assumptions. These are my opinions. These are based off of my own private research. These are based off of my own experience from previous learning. But that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it for now until I find out any other evidence. Thank you for watching.